From fashion and fitness to food and finance, the UAE's influencer advertising sector is big business, forecast to be worth over $97 million by 2030. And that is why brands are increasingly using creator content over traditional advertising. That's not surprising, according to Anamika Rana, who's a finfluencer with over 300,000 followers.
I tend to get anywhere in the range of 3,000 to 5,000 dirhams per post, which includes like a reel and story or stories combination. However, this is not a fixed commercial. It depends a lot on the brand, the deliverables, the audience they are targeting at. But if I speak on a general basis, I have a lot of influencer friends in Dubai who are mostly in the beauty and lifestyle segment, and they have an average of 200,000 followers. And their commercials for one reel and story is anywhere in the range of 4,000 to 5,000 dirhams. So it's pretty flexible, but yeah, there's a lot of money to be made as well. So in my opinion, I think having an influencer license, influencer permit, it's a wonderful initiative by the government, especially because nowadays we're having a massive boom in the creator economy globally. And from the audience's perspective, it becomes tricky to decide whom to trust and whom not to trust. But just having an influencer license, it serves as a credible benchmark, not just for you, but also for the brands we are working with. And of course, it enhances the trust, the level of faith in the audience as well. Getting a permit is just a matter of few minutes. But if you do have it, it takes you from here to here. If you don't have it, of course, you pay a huge hefty fine of 10,000 dirhams and you also go from here to here. So you're wise enough to decide you want to go from here to here or here to here.
As of the 31st of January, the rules are changing. Anyone posting promotional content, either paid or unpaid, must hold an advertiser permit, which is free for the first 3 years. The aim is to bring more transparency to a fast-growing industry. Recent statistics suggest that 3/4 of UAE businesses have shifted their marketing budgets away from TV and print towards content creators like these. And that is why both brands and the government are seeking to formalise this type of content. William Jones is a finfluencer with more than 300,000 followers. He's on Instagram under the tagline Will Investment Advisor.
The overall permit for me, it has to enhance everything. It has to enhance it from the brand's perspective. It literally has to. If they only reach out to people who've got the permit number in their Instagram, first of all, they know that they have the right license. They can promote the things that they're being offered and being paid to do. And the brands know that these people also have to follow through with the deal. 90% of the time it comes with a contract, which is great. Like, everything should be in writing. But if they only reach out to people who've got the permit number, there shouldn't be any problems. The person should be able to post exactly what they're being paid to post. And for the companies, me personally, I'm probably a little bit biased, but instead of spending $500,000 on a big billboard in Sheikh Zayed Road, which, don't get me wrong, we all know that works, but you could spend 1/4 of that budget, get 1,000 different influencers to do a similar post. Out of the 1,000, I would say at least 10% of them are going to go viral. For me, that just gets more eyes, it gets more attention. And again, you can directly check the ROI based on that instead of a billboard where it's very difficult to actually gauge the impact of the ad itself.
So the UAE isn't the first country to introduce rules around this style of digital marketing. In Saudi Arabia, influencers already have to get a permit. It costs about $4,000 for 3 years. And in Europe and the United States, paid content is regulated, and companies like Meta and also TikTok are being encouraged to enforce the rules. Ashley Kadzau is the founder of the digital marketing agency Sunday.
Somehow influencers have wedged their way into the 360 marketing mix. I wouldn't say that they are replacing any specific media allocation. Digital ads are still running. Print publication placements have had a resurgence in the last couple of years, and we're seeing more of that this year. PR is still necessary. Organic social is stronger than ever. Influencers and creators specifically have really grown into their own space in the 360 marketing mix. And so it's not a matter of the budget being taken from other parts of that mix, and more of a matter of overall budgets increasing and influencers and creators getting, call it, their fair share. It makes sense that regulation is being introduced into the market. These people need licenses. They're generating, they're sending out quotes for $50,000. There has to be some kind of license associated with that. There has to be some kind of regulation with that. Their books need to be audited on an annual basis, and their business, and we'll call it a business, should be well governed. I think the days of this concept of influencer marketing being the wild, wild west are gone. It's now a formal industry, formally acting in the market, and asking for considerable spend from a company's 360 marketing mix.
So what does this mean for influencers? Helen Farmer is a well-known content creator who's been working in Dubai for more than a decade. She's also a radio presenter for Dubai Eye.
Some content creators and influencers are absolutely worth the money, whether it's brand awareness, return on investment for a product or service. Yes, this can be an amazing way of reaching an audience. However, there are a huge amount of grifters out there, and my hope is with tighter regulations, the UAE advertising permit coming into play, that we're seeing more transparency. We're weeding out those who are really trying their luck at breaking into a much more difficult industry than many people give it credit for. I would also want to put the onus on the agencies and the brands to be doing their due diligence on the people they're engaging with, to have more transparency about the demographics, about the engagement. They might have a huge number of followers, but do they actually engage with that content? Are those followers actually who that brand wants to be reaching? So I'm hoping the next couple of years we're going to see tighter regulations leading to better content and ultimately better outcomes for an industry that is moving really, really quickly. And now the UAE is indeed keeping pace with it.
Either way, influencing is no longer informal. Treating creator content like regulated advertising sets a whole new benchmark. And that is likely to have an impact on how campaigns are priced across the entire sector, not just on the digital platforms.